Let's continue to discuss the transitive and intransitive verbs. Transitive verb is a verb which needs an object to complete its meaning. For example, he sold a bike. In this sentence, the word sold is transitive verb because it has the object bike. Let us see one more example. They bought some vegetables. In this sentence, the word bought is transitive verb because it has the object vegetables. Students, I will tell you very simple clue to identify transitive verb by asking question what or who. For example, he sold a bike. To find out transitive verb, I will ask a question. What did he buy? I will get the answer a bike, and therefore the word sold is transitive verb. Let us see another example. She appreciated John. In order to find out transitive verb, I will ask question. Who did she appreciate? And I will answer John. Therefore, appreciated is transitive verb. So in order to find out transitive verb, we have to ask question what or who. Intransitive verb does not require object, and therefore we shall see later on. But transitive verb requires, needs object for its complete meaning. The object for transitive verb is must. So let us discuss the object for transitive verb in detail. After having been learned about transitive verb, now let us see the object of the verbs. There are two types of objects. The first is direct object and the other one is indirect object. What is direct object? A direct object is a noun or pronoun that receives the action of the verb. For example, he ate chocolate. In this sentence, the word chocolate is direct object because it's a noun and it receives the action of the verb ate. Dear children, I will tell you the simple method to identify direct object. To identify direct object, you have to ask question. who or what. For instance, the teacher praised Jivan. In order to identify direct object, I will ask the question, who did the teacher praise? And will get the answer, Jivan. And therefore the word Jivan is direct object here. Let's see one more example. I bought a pen. Here, in order to find out the direct object, I will ask the question, what did I buy? And will get the answer, pen. And therefore the word pen is direct object here. Dear children, one more thing you must remember, or you should remember, that direct object is usually thing or something. For examples, he gave a pen, he sent a letter, he ate chocolate. Hear the words pen in the first sentence, letter in the second sentence, and chocolate in the third sentence are direct objects because they are things or something. As I have told you that direct object is usually thing or something or object that you must remember. Now let us understand the indirect object. The indirect object is a noun or pronoun that tells us to whom or for whom the action of the verb is performed. For example, the tailor showed her a beautiful dress. In this sentence, the word her is indirect object because it is pronoun and it tells us about a person for whom the action of the verb is performed. Let us see another example. He gave me a book. In this sentence, the word me is indirect object because it is a pronoun and it tells us about a person for whom the action of the verb is performed. Dear children, I will tell you simple way to identify the indirect object, or in order to identify indirect object, you must ask the question to whom or for whom. For example, we provided them shelter. Here, in order to identify indirect object, I shall ask the question, to whom did we provide shelter? And will get the answer, them. And so the word them is indirect object. Let us take another example. They gave us sweets to eat. In order to identify the indirect object, I shall ask the question, to whom did they give sweets to eat? And I'll get the answer, us. And therefore the word us is indirect object here. Dear children, you must remember, just like the direct object is something or thing, similarly the indirect object is usually a person or people or object pronoun in a sentence. For example, John gifted him a car. In this sentence, the word him is the object pronoun, and also it's a person, it's not thing, and therefore the word him is indirect object. Let us see another example. They gave us delicious food. In this sentence, the word us is indirect object because it's object pronoun and it's person, it's not thing, it's not an object, and therefore it is indirect object. Children, you must remember that for a verb to have an indirect object, there must also be a direct object. The indirect object usually appears before the direct object. For example, the principal provided her a school bag. In this sentence, the word her is indirect object because it appears before the direct object, a school bag. Let us see one more example. They gave us delicious food. In this sentence, the word us is indirect object because it appears before direct object delicious food. Therefore, the word us is indirect object. But children, you must also remember that though the indirect object usually comes before the direct object, but we can reverse this order by using a preposition to or for with the indirect object. For examples, they gave delicious food for us. The principal provided a school bag for him. She gave a book to me. etc. Dear children, do you know why we study about transitive and intransitive verbs? We study about them because the transitive and intransitive, very particularly the transitive verbs, are the most significant one when we change active into passive voice. Children, you must remember only the transitive verbs can be changed active into passive voice, whereas the intransitive verbs cannot be changed into passive voice. And therefore, you must be able to identify transitive and intransitive verbs. After having been learned about transitive verbs, direct and indirect objects, now let us understand what is intransitive verb. An intransitive verb makes complete sense by itself. It does not need an object to complete meaning. For examples, the race began. In this sentence, the word began is intransitive verb because it does not need an object for its full meaning. Let us see another example. He cries. In this sentence, the word cries is intransitive verb because it makes complete sense by itself. It does not need an object to complete its meaning. Children, you must remember the same verbs can be transitive or intransitive depending on how the verb is used. For examples, I called slowly. In this sentence, if you look for an object, you will not find. There is no objective pronoun. There is no object, but there is an adverb. Here the word slowly is an adverb, and therefore the word called is intransitive verb. But the same verb which is used as intransitive verb one side, on the other hand, the same verb can be used as transitive verb, as I called him. In order to find out whether the word called is transitive verb, I will ask the question, to whom did I call? Or I will look for the object pronoun, and here the word him is object pronoun. Here there is person, and therefore the word called is transitive verb. Let us take another example. The bell rang loudly. In this sentence, if you look for an object, you will not find. There is no object. There is no person. Whereas the word loudly is an adverb. Therefore, the word rang is used as intransitive verb. And the same verb can be used as transitive verb, as the peon rang the bell. In this sentence, if you look for an object or thing, and you will find thing, that is the bell. As I have told you, if in a sentence there is object or something, then the verb is transitive verb. So here the word rang is transitive verb because it's followed by the object bell, or it has the object bell, and therefore here the word rang is used as transitive verb. Today we have learned about direct and indirect objects. Direct object is a noun or pronoun that receives the action of the verb. It is identified by asking the question who or what in relation to the verb. The indirect object is a noun or pronoun that tells us to whom or for whom the action of the verb is performed. Secondly, we have learned about transitive and intransitive verbs. A transitive verb is a verb which needs an object to complete its meaning. An intransitive verb makes complete sense by itself. It does not need an object to complete its meaning.